So I'm about to share a really cool story, one that has a great message for all human beings. And what's even more remarkable is actually based on a true story. Let's check it out. So in the 1800s, in a small village in Thailand, a group of monks were standing in their monastery around this giant golden Buddha, weighed over 5,000 kilos. And as they were standing there that day, someone approached the monastery. They could hear the footsteps. So that head monk made his way over, and it was a messenger from the village. And the messenger said that there was news that the Burmese army was about to invade their village. And so the monks got together, and the head monk, they looked up the golden statue, and they knew that this was going to be something that if they were invaded, that the Burmese army were going to want to take. So they came up with a plan, and they said, let's cover this up with layers of stucco. We'll paint it. And so that's what they did. They covered it up with stucco, they painted it, and they stuck pieces of colored glass in this massive statue of Buddha. And sure enough, the Burmese army came through. They invaded, they attacked, they killed all the monks that were part of that monastery, and they did see the statue and saw no value in the statue. So they just left it alone. And now what's crazy is that statue stayed like that for hundreds of years, until one day in 1955, the head monk was standing in front of this massive Buddha in the monastery, and again, someone approached, and this time it was a government official. And so the head monk went over, spoke to the government official, and the government official said, we're going to tear down this monastery, we're going to build another one in another location, because there's plans for a road to come through this, where this monastery is. So obviously the monk was shocked and not happy, but it is what it is, and they had to move location. So they craned up, when the day came, they craned up this 5,000 kilo statue. It was stucco, pieces of colored glass, and no one knew what was underneath. So they craned it up, they took it to its location, and it had started to rain that day. And as they were placing the statue down, they heard a cracking sound. But the first thing all of the monks wanted to do was cover it from the rain. So they covered the statue up, and as they covered the statue up, later on that evening, they told the head monk about this cracking noise. So the head monk went back to the statue and looked, and he had a flashlight, and he looked underneath. He looked underneath the coverings, and he shone the light, and he could see this strip of gold underneath. So he saw cracks of gold. So they pulled off the cover when it stopped raining, and they started to chip away at the stucco. And obviously, what did they discover? They found this massive statue of Buddha that was made of gold. And so this golden statue sits in the Wat Tramat Temple. I don't know if I said that right, but it's in Bangkok, Thailand. You can go there today and see this massive statue of gold. And what an interesting story. For hundreds of years, how it was covered up in the stucco, right? And nobody had any idea until they saw that crack in the gold. Actually, I've read that you can go there, and they've actually got pictures of the plaster on the ground showing the cracks and them sort of opening up this golden Buddha. So what is the metaphor? What is the learning in all of this? And I see it as all of us are like that golden Buddha. All of us come into this world a shining light, pure joy, connected to others, connected to our true source, not needing validation or anything from the exterior world to feel that wholeness. But then what happens to us is we start to layer this stucco on our gold, right? And we do this because of the experiences around us, whether it's at school, whether you're bullied, it's your parents, and you start to create this identity. And some scientists say it's the first 7 years, some say 8 years, but they say that the first 7 to 8 years are the real formative years of our identity. And we create that identity by the experiences around us. And sometimes we create these identities of that we're not good enough, that we're stupid. And then you start to feel shameful, and you start to have fear and guilt. And so we layer this stucco on us, and then more experiences happen to us throughout our lives as we get older. I mean, there's an infinite amount of experiences. And what do? We layer the stucco on. We layer that stucco on and we cover that gold up even more, even more, even more. And we confirm that identity that we're not good enough, or we're stupid, or I'll never be smart, I'll never be successful, I wasn't born to be anything great. And the good thing is that some of us sometimes get this little crack in our stucco, and we feel this connectedness, but it takes work just to feel a little bit of that shining light. So if it takes work to feel a little bit of the shining light, think about how much work it takes to remove the stucco completely. And the sad part is, forget the stucco, some of us have covered our gold up with cement because we've gone through traumas, abuse, sexual abuse, bullying, all sorts of traumas. Our parents didn't love us. Maybe we didn't have a father figure or a mother, or no parents at all. Maybe we were adopted. And so these create all these beliefs in us, and we go further and further away from our true nature and that shining gold. We're covered in cement. And the unfortunate part is we're so far away from our true source because of these experiences that we don't know that underneath all that, there is a wholeness. There is joy. And so in closing, I just want to say, it takes work to remove stucco. It takes work to remove cement. A lot of work, but it's possible. We consciously need to choose. We consciously need to face our fears, face our pasts. And only by doing these and taking these actions and facing our fears is the only way to get back to who we truly are and back to our wholeness and our connectedness. And that's really where we will feel true joy. Thank you for watching.